Petersham ribbon has many sewing uses, and one of them is as an embellishment. This pleated Petersham would make a beautiful trim on a garment edge, such as a neckline. Pleating the Petersham to create this style of trim is pretty simple. Sets of pleats are created, stacked, and stitched securely, and then the ribbon edges between each set of pleats are tacked together to create a sculpted, three-dimensional design. The technique you'll learn in this video is a variation on a box-pleated ribbon trim that Kenneth King blogged about at threadsmagazine.com. Start with a length of Petersham at least 4 times that of the desired finished trim. So if you need a length of trim 1 yard long, start with 4 yards. You'll also need a hand sewing needle and thread and a seam gauge. 1.5 inch wide Petersham is ideal for this embellishment, but you can also try it out on narrower or wider ribbon. For each set of pleats, you will first make a large pleat and then a small pleat on top. Use a seam gauge to ensure you make each pleat the correct depth. The specific pleat depths depend on the width of the Petersham. Before you start pleating the ribbon, thread the needle and knot the thread end. Start pleating 2 inches from the Petersham end. Fold a 3/4 inch deep pleat. Underneath it, make 2 3/8 inch deep pleats. Take your time folding the pleats. If you lack dexterity, you can pin the pleats to hold them together. Don't worry about being too precise with pleat depths. Then make another 3/4 inch pleat. Hold these 4 pleats together securely. Sew a few stitches through all the folds at the Petersham's center. Don't sew the stitches too tightly or you'll pull the pleats together and they won't lay flat. You've completed the first pleat set. Open the stack of pleats so they lay flat. There should be 1 large and 1 small pleat on each side of the set. Make the next 3/4 inch pleat fold 1.5 inches from the last one's folded edge. The spacing between pleat sets is the ribbon's width. Repeat the folding process exactly as before to create the second pleat set. Stitch the folds together, open the pleats flat. Continue making pleat sets spaced 1.5 inches apart until you reach the end of the Petersham. Now you're ready to create the flower-like effect that makes this Petersham embellishment so pretty. Between each pleat set on the right side, pinch the Petersham's 2 edges together. Tack these edges together with a few stitches. To apply this trim to a garment, hand sew a fell stitch, hiding the stitches under the trim's body. For more ways to use Petersham in your sewing, read Susan Calgi's article in Threads number 184, Multipurpose Petersham.